All right, a very bright morning right from Arua City. I don't know how it is in the other parts of the world, but you're most welcome to the Kokoliriko live show on West Nile Television. We are both on satellite and online, or we are on West Nile, we on StarTimes, channel 477, that's on StarTimes, and also really across all social media platforms where you can access us each and every mornings. That is on the Kokoliriko live show, live from any part of the world, and definitely we are already here. And today is the 14th of the month of May. It is a Tuesday, and really that also indicates that we are just left with also about a fortnight, that is 2 weeks, sorry, to summarize the month, because we already 2 weeks also already into the month of May, and just some few days also already to wind up with the month there. But the question that you should be asking yourself is how far with the plans that maybe on what you want to achieve. Definitely that should also really help maybe paint an image for you to also really understand why exactly you must also already be part of the show. And today we are already 5 minutes after 7 o'clock. Without wasting any time, let's head straight into the discussion. Road users, this is also already following the continuous delay in the completion of the road works. And this work we are talking about is the Pajulonya Road, which there has become a death trap to so many people, where it also hampered also already, that is a movement of people from one place to another. And remember, this bridge actually that connects, that is West Nile Bridge on particular road district, and the Arua City, that is to also Democratic Republic of Congo. But the delayed stall of also the works on this road did not go well with some people who actually also did go on to strike over the delayed completion of this road here. And yesterday we did see so many different road users storming up on the road with also banners and placards demanding also really for government to come out and explain why the delay is also already there, because we have not been also talking about this work here, because we are told this work that started long ago would also actually get done by 2023. We are in 2024, actually 5 months or now down the road into towards 2024, but the works also already continue to stall. What exactly is happening? This is also really where the engineer needs to come up clearly and explain what exactly is happening. And the contractor also really, who was not at the side, also needs out to come out clearly to explain, because this is not the very first time we are seeing those angry community members also really protesting in there. But what is really happening is something I do not know. But yesterday, I must inform you, we did see people carrying placards, and also really that is to demand on why exactly the bridge continues to also delay. And that is one thing I also want to remind you, that if this work is not done completely, and then definitely so many people will still continue to lose their lives, because we have seen so many accidents happening on this road, and this is according to also different reasons in there. But I want to also caution people now, also more so those in office, also to ensure that they take up the mandate of also ensuring that this work gets done quickly, because we want to see the works on this work also on this bridge get finalized. And the project has lasted for a long period of time. That's according to information we're also receiving, and was supposed to come to completion by last year. But up to date, nothing has been done as agreed by the project. Also really has delayed up to this period, and this bridge has not also really been a project that was also really connects, that is during so many people. And remember, this road is actually one that becomes very, very impassable, more so during times of rain, because it becomes muddy, and that is already affecting people. And remember, once those movements are affected, definitely it becomes very, very much difficult for them. But really, I want to take this honor to also really inform and ask these people maybe who are a bit also really very, very much angry there, to also take the caution and also really relax, so that also really we do not see any lives lost on this bridge. As government now has had that concern, I want to see the contractor, whom in this case to me is behaving like a big wig, maybe has some backing somewhere, because this project honestly has taken long overdue, and up to date nothing is being done. And definitely these are things that solely we continue to talk about. As Oyeri Alex, the LC1 chairman, that is that's on Jevo Cell Ward, says the project has really taken long since its commencement, that is in 2022, and was expected to have finished, that is in 2023, and it will cost them heavy rains also to get back. And this is something also I want to say, as you can see people also already with the placards on your screens there, and that is also already with the messages that they're carrying, and these are also the pains of the local people there. You can really see those old men carrying the placards. That is also really as concern needs to also be done. And now they're calling for IG also really to come up and clearly explain to them on what exactly is happening. And definitely I also want to say the same thing needs to be done, because if at all nothing is done, then definitely we are going to be seeing so many people still continue to lose their lives. And what exactly is happening? These are things that we need to understand. As Akuyo Emmanuel, a concerned citizen that's of Uganda, says they have gathered also ready to do at the construction point, that is also to ascertain why the project is stalling, and why also really the works are not being finalized. Because if you look at this road, This is actually one of the points that connects, that is Arua City to the Arua district, and then to the Democratic Republic of Congo. And this is where also I want to say it is actually one of those business roads that shouldn't also really get stalled, because if at all it stalls, and then definitely those who are supposed to also really come on this also may also really get done there. And this construction of 2 bridges, that's on Inyao 2, that's Awindri Jono Road, and is supposed to be with funding that's from the government of Uganda, and that's also really under support from that World Bank, and is also really very, very much clearly. And the district supervisor is supposed to be the one to oversee the works, as the contractor was also really that the works were given to Naim Establishments Limited here, but up to now Naim is not doing what is supposed to be doing on this road. What exactly is happening? These are things that already Naim also construction also needs to come up and clearly explain to us, because sometimes people give these contracts to people also really where this, by the way, this is where we get always doubts in the transparency exhibited, that is by the construction teams. And definitely usually people say that if you want to witness the highest level of corruption, usually it is also really that is witnessed between, that's the procurement and the contract committees. This is really where also we get to believe in what the members of the public are saying, and this is also really something I want to say could not be true, but what we are also really seeing could be the truth, because if you really see such projects that are really very, very much crucial being given to people who are of that nature, and they do not take long and really work on their works, definitely it becomes very, very much difficult. Michael, also a resident of Pajulu, who drives also really on the same road, is also really also concerned about the state of this road, because it is really giving them hard time, I believe, as drivers. And this is where I want to now ask upon the people of that area to also really respond to that concern in there. As Alfred Okonzi, the LC5 chairman, that is our road district, as community members also really to become, and very soon also really the project shall be complete because of the much work that has been already done. But then definitely this is not the very first time we are seeing the leaders in particular asking for more time, as the contractor also at one time asked for more time. But what exactly is being done? And this is the thing that these are the things that also really the leaders need to make also really the people out there to understand. Because if you have really moved on this road, if you have seen the beautiful plans, and then you compare it to the time it is taking, trust me, you will be able to get angry, because this is a nice bridge that if once completed, everybody is going to be happy. But really once the works are taking very long, that is where the concern also really becomes very, very much difficult. And now that also really does summarize that topic. As the viewer, you can also really share your opinions, share your views on what exactly is happening as to far as the issue about the delayment on the completion of this works on the bridge is concerned. I will also need your say, and I really want to say we will not be able to solely reflect it and share it with the rest of the viewers. But as we get to move on with the show, and remember, so many issues continue to happen and linger around the speaker. That is also really concerning the Mabati Iron Sheet saga, where some people were also saying that she was among those beneficiaries who actually benefited from that also really, and she demanded to be sanctioned. And recently we did see also really some also demanding also really for her to be sanctioned in there. But one thing that I want to take this honor to remind you of, as rumors have been circulating that NUP West Nile, that's in Arua City in particular, we are also really planning to protest and demonstrate against the Speaker of Parliament, is actually forced. As also really yesterday we did see the leaders of the National Unity Platform responding to these allegations, saying that those are baseless allegations. They do not have any intention to sue. That is also really, and also that demonstrate against the Speaker of Parliament, that is concerning that issue there. But yesterday we did see them also responding to that. And now let's first get to listen to the leaders. That is on what they are saying in relation to that protest there. That will also help us understand why exactly we are talking about here, because some people have been also levying sanctions. We did see recently UK also levying sanctions against the Speaker and 2 other ex-ministers. But then definitely we also need to hear what the leaders of Arua City are saying, that is in relation to the planned demand to also demonstrate against the Speaker of Parliament, because some areas we are also really planning to do the same. But really in Arua City, it is now true that they did not also really have that in plan. That was just a rumor, which according to them is baseless, and that is also really not being backed up, but because for them they are not also planning to demonstrate. They actually did out clearly respond to that, as their efforts already underway to identify their party members through the registration exercise, which has already been launched. Let's first get to listen to the leaders as we get to climb, as we get moved on the show recently, as soon as we continue with the show. For now, let's first get to hear what the leaders are saying in relation to the allegations of planning to demonstrate against the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Anita Among. That would also really help us understand that better.
That I am organizing a demonstration against the Speaker of Parliament, Anita. I don't know when that was, and I don't know where the meeting was held. As a teacher, for me, I'm now for my holidays. And holidays, I normally take it for doing my village work, like in the field, garden, maybe construction in the village. And mostly I take my time in the village during holidays. Surprisingly, yesterday we were for launch of a candidate that is Vako Jolie Dezo in Maracha. The whole of yesterday I was in Maracha. This sister of Casablanca, Mr. Gudo, we were for that function yesterday in Maracha. That is Rubukane. I don't know how I organized it. I don't know. It was my image, rather my shadow or my photograph or something. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. So that was what I told Victor, that I'm not in any way in organization of demonstration against the speaker.
My name is Asega Habib Jogo. I am the Deputy Secretary for Mobilization in charge of Northern Uganda and coordinating matters of national platform in Northern Uganda to the Secretary. I'm also a member of the National Executive Committee of the national platform. On what is going on, also hearing it for the first time, that NUP is organizing a demonstration against the Speaker of Parliament sanctioned by the United Kingdom in Arua. First of all, government sits in Kampala, the Parliament is in Kampala, all government offices are in Kampala, and it makes no sense for someone like you leave the kitchen where your mother is preparing food and you go and shout outside where there is no even food. So that one doesn't make sense. We are legal political party registered by the Act of Political Party and Organization Bill that is in Uganda's constitution. You are aware that we are having ongoing activity of mass mobilization, and this activity is a very big one. It was recently launched and we are busy registering people. I know there could be some bad people who are feeling that pain, that pinch, because NRM who are doing their mobilization, their registration, they are looking for people to come and register. So they will go to homes, people will not come to register. Maybe they are trying to sabotage our registration process, but nobody will remove us from the course.
Well, the information is very clear and it is right from the horse's mouth, and they have already spoken out. That is on the concern, also the allegations. As some members of the public, we are saying the people of Arua City, Mwaso, those affiliated to the National Platform Party, we are planning to protest and demonstrate. And the rumor had been there on the public space, but now it is clear NUP is not planning to do anything of that sort. And that also tells us why we also always need to find out the right information. And as West Nile Television, we are there to do that for you. You always need to sit at maybe at the comfort of your sitting rooms and just wait, and we shall be able to give you that right information each and every morning. All you need to do is maybe get a cup of coffee, and also sit comfortably with your family members at maybe the sitting room, and definitely we will be doing that for you. You need not to move anywhere, and that is only where I want to take this honor and say you must always watch West Nile Television. That is each and every mornings, right from 7 o'clock until 9 o'clock, and this is where the Kokoliriko live show also comes in lively to keep you informed and updated of what is happening right from West Nile sub-region and internationally there, because we not always want to limit our discussions with what is happening home, but we also really move away to also let you know, and also of course we also want to keep you informed so that also really you are not left behind, because if you are left behind, then definitely you would also really make decisions that also really might not be well. And as we get to move on, and today we are still continuing with the census exercise, and today being also the 14th of, that is May, we are just left about also 3 days, about 3 days, sorry, because the exercise that started on, that is 10th, will be running, that is until 19th. And then definitely I want to take this opportunity now also to ask whoever hasn't been enumerated to also really ensure that it is done so, because the government of Uganda will be using this information to also really budget and plan for the nation in the next 10 years. But up to now, so many people have not been enumerated. I don't know what plans government will be doing in terms of also really ensuring that all the citizens get enumerated, because really I want to say each and everybody must get ensure that they are enumerated, because really leaving anybody behind wouldn't be quite well. But now the question we are asking ourselves is, how ready are we for this exercise, and how ready are the enumerators? But yesterday, on a sad note, we lost one enumerator who collapsed and died instantly, and this was in Namayingo district, as also already he had gone to do his business in there. But really we continue to pray for this soul of the foot soldier to also rest in eternal peace there, because he is a foot soldier who was already on duty there, and he deserves to be accorded. That's a national and heroic also death, because he died when he was performing state duty. And this is where I want to say we need to also really ensure that livelihoods and the lives that and first of all the well-being of these enumerators is well catered, and first of all they need not to go into field also when they're not feeling well, and also the uneasy there, because sometimes we may see more people getting collapsed in there, and amidst all the several challenges, where today we also registered in cases of enumerators tablets being stolen. And this is something I also really want to ensure and ask the leaders also to ensure that these people's livelihoods are well ensured and well catered. And Anne Tibiwa, who was enumerating residents of Bumeru C village in Buhimbo in Buchimo parish in Mutumba sub-county, collapsed also while on Saturday on duty. Then this is when the Namayingo census officer, Mr. Martin, also already has revealed. And that is something also we did see Mr. Martin Mangeni also really addressing the concern there, because over the weekend she was actually on duty by the time she collapsed. And this is where we also want to say, may her soul rest in eternal peace. And we also really want to see her life being, first of all, her death being accorded a heroic one, because she died while performing state duty. And just like so many other people, she could also opt to wait and see maybe where she can be able to get money. But she had the courage to work, and this is where we want to say she deserves also to be accorded. That's a state burial in there, and maybe a state funeral, which to me would be quite well. And Mr. Mangani said the deceased was rushed to Shalom Medical Center at about 5:30 p.m. where she was admitted. But despite efforts also to stabilize her condition, her health deteriorated, and she passed on away on that Saturday afternoon in there. But we want to say may her soul rest in eternal peace, and we also continue to condole with the family and the people of Namayingo district, because really for her to die just like that is not an easy thing. But as believers, we say that is what she decided with God, and that is also really how she planned with God, that she would be dying on such a death. That they may be under such circumstances on this day from anywhere, and that is already something also we also as believers now want to say may her soul continue to rest in eternal peace, but to avoid more deaths, to always ensure that this people's well-being is well catered is the way to go, because we do not want to see many people also losing their lives in there, which to me wouldn't be quite well. And I want to take this opportunity now to ask the enumerators themselves to always ensure that they are not left behind. The enumeration exercise got underway. That was last Friday and ends on May 19th. However, enumerators have also already endured a torrid start, which so many of them not work, or that is across the country the first day, in particular in Jeru municipality, that's in Buikwe district, reportedly also pursued by 3 men. And this is also really something I also want to say, where we are seeing so many enumerators going through. And in Buikwe district in particular, we did see one enumerator also really who was stabbed by 3 men who actually pursued him and also really harmed him there. But this was on Friday. But really want to say people must avoid taking the laws in their hands, because if they are taking the laws in their hands, and once the repercussions of these laws also starts also getting underway onto them, then definitely we may see a very bad repercussions, and we may see many people running away. And also we did see James Kalyango, who was supposed to enumerate also the residents of Namuaya village, but decided to first relay some messages on megaphone. That was at around 6:30 a.m. in an attempt to rally masses for the national cause. But really, we did see him also being hacked in there. But these are things also we need to talk about, because we are seeing so many people, so many lives who may also lose their lives in there. But this are also something that I want to take this opportunity and now to also really call upon the members of the society to not to shun the excess, but rather let them embrace the census exercise, such that also these complaints of a shortage, maybe a shortage of drugs in the final facilities cannot be blamed on anybody. If at all there will be maybe shortage of drugs in the medical facility, we can say clearly that government of Uganda indicated to all of us now what is happening, because we want to see change in the next 10 years, because really if we are not talking about this change, and then definitely so many people are also going to be left out there. But then the concern that I will also want to talk about is the fact that also really so many people continue to be left out there. But really what exactly is done? Definitely these are things already I want to also really ask the viewer out there for you to share your opinions on. You can also really let us know how best we can ensure that no more lives of census enumerators is lost also really during the census exercise, as we are just left with about 3 days. And my humble appeal to the government of Uganda could also really be for the compensation of the 2 lost days where the census exercise was a mess, where we did see so many people also registering challenges, technical challenges, with others registering also system failure challenges in there. But now I hope all those have been rectified and the exercise should be moving on freely, and that would also help maybe paint an image for us to understand why the government of Uganda also needs to come out clearly to also lament on what exactly is supposed to be done. Because if really we are now seeing so many of these people also losing their lives. The 3 days may be very many to them, and really sometimes also this challenge is coming, I believe, because some people are taken away, far away from where they're residing, and that also really was also my greatest concern, because really I apply, for instance, I applied to work within, that is Central Division, in particularly in Olisel. But then you're taking me to work that is in Adumi, where really the distance is a bit far away, and there I do not know the people, I do not understand the environment. Definitely becomes very much difficult for them. And this is where I also want to ask the government of Uganda in the next census exercise, because we may not be able to talk about very much now maybe on the ongoing census, but we want to look at maybe in the next census exercise, let people work within their areas of residence, maybe within their areas of jurisdiction. That would also really sound well, because really you are moving me away from Central Division, where I reside, where I understand all the homes, where I know whoever is living in that area, and then you take me to live also there, maybe do my work in Onduparaka, in Adumi. It becomes difficult for me, and that is where I want to say people also need to also understand why people need to also be placed in areas where they reside in there. As we get to move on with the show, Museveni appoints Otto as new, that is Commander Operation Suja, replacing that is also already Major General Dick Olum in there, and this is also news that we received yesterday, as President Museveni also has appointed Major General Richard Otto as the new commander, that's of Mountain Division, and consequently also Commander Operation Suja, and also really a joint operation that is by Uganda People's Defense Forces, working also towards also really bringing peace, that is in parts of Democratic Republic of Congo, that is against the armed forces, also armed defense forces, also really also that is also known as Allied Democratic Forces, which is also known as the ADF in DRC, and he replaces that is Major General Dick Olum, who has also been sent that is to South Sudan to stabilization mechanism, where Major General Otto also really has been representing Uganda in there, and they also really they will be interswitching, and where Major Dick Olum will move to South Sudan, as Major Otto will be now crossing that is to DRC in there. And South Sudan stabilization mechanism monitors that is the implementation of the peace progress on behalf of Uganda as the new guarantor of the peace agreement in there. And really this is something also really where I expect success, because if you really look at Major Dick Olum, he is one of those leaders you should also really understand is wise, and really I hope also with that also the ability of that is intellectual understanding, definitely he will be doing a tremendous job that is also in South Sudan in terms of really bringing peace in there. But really we wish all of them the best in their new also really areas of operation, and at the end of the day we are expecting very much from them. And President Museveni, who is also the commander-in-chief, promoted Major also promoted Otto, that is from Brigadier General to the rank of Major General in June 2023, and also after days after he was appointed, also as the chairperson of the South Sudan Stabilization Mechanism, and he served as the commander of the UPDF contingent that is in the Central African Republic as part of also really the African Union Regional Task Force, or that is also really abbreviated as AU, also RTF in there. And the regional counter-offensive against the Lord Resistance Army also really is one thing that also really will be remembered for. And this is something something also I want to take this opportunity now officially to congratulate the two upon their new areas of operation, and this is where we are yet following up on, and we also really expect very much from them. And in October 2017, Mr. Museveni also sent Otto to replace Olum as the head of UPDF 3rd Division, that is in Moroto. Also in there, Olum was dispatched into Kinshasa as Uganda's also really defense attached, that is to DR Congo, and this is where we summarize our first half of the first hour with, and this is still a Kokoliriko live show on National Television. We are both on StarTimes and online, that is on channel 477 on StarTimes, and also really across all our socials where you can access us anywhere, anytime, and across any part of the world, and that is the benefit of National Television. Feel free, for those of you watching us online, to drop your comments in there, and we shall be able to go through them later on. But for now, let's first have this short commercial breather as we get to continue with the show anytime from now. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
For Miss Uganda 2024 is on. Get ready to be wowed by the girls' intelligence, charisma, and big dreams. Who will be the next Miss Uganda? Find out starting 10th May every Friday to Sunday at 8 p.m. on Makulachika, exclusively on StarTimes. For more details on how to join the competition, visit www.missuganda.co.ug or visit StarTimes branches. The show is sponsored by VNA, LMZ, Comform, Nanjing Hotel, Kira Motors, Sheraton, Uganda Airlines, and lead sponsors Grace Textiles and U-Home. Miss Uganda 2024, true Ugandan beauty.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
We are back with the Kokoliriko live show on Western Television, and this is where we want to keep you informed and updated of what is happening right across Western sub-region, the nation, and the world at large. And as we get to continue with the show, remember we started the show right from what is happening in Arua City with the story about the bridge that is also really continuing to stall. And also we did also talk something about Anoop, and now we also really seeing Noop also really again appearing as we begin off with what is happening in the second half of our first hour in there. We are just 34 minutes after 7 o'clock. And as we get to move on with the show, the National Unity Platform Party Vice Coordinator, that's for Kagoma North, also the constituency, that is in Jinja District, also Joseph Kitau, has been killed in 3 machete attacks, and also which also left 2 other victims hospitalized in there. This is also something that we are seeing on the post this morning, as Chitao, who is also a businessman dealing in cattle, was reportedly attacked as he approached his home, that is in Magamaga Village, Buenge Rural Sub-County. That is according to the LC1, that is of the area in there. And Defense Secretary, that's Gerald Sentembo, and these are things also we also want to caution these leaders also to be very, very much cautious about their lives. And this is where I want to ask them now to also ensure that they move during broad daylight, because if they move at night with the issues about the machete people also, which we did see happening in Massacre, we may also see them be hacked in there, which wouldn't also be quite well. And this is where I want to take this opportunity now in a great honor to welcome and say the people need also to ensure that they also take keen concern about also their lives and how they move. And this is something also at the end of the day where they would also ensure that their lives are protected in there. The Buenge Town Council also Chairperson Nicholas Nkola has said also the deceased also just started the football match also after also seeing him in there. And this is something that also could have maybe led to his life being killed in there, because he had just started a football match that was already attracted also, which also where his team also almost won. And this is something also that also couldn't also be very, very much well for them, and this was also for his fans. And this is something at the end of the day that could also maybe led to his life. And according to information we are receiving, Mwandale was found lying near his home, that's in a pool of blood, before being rushed, that is to a clinic, that's in Buenge Town Council, where he was later pronounced dead in there. Jinja District Speaker Monica Namukose Kamaku, while addressing also residents, said Mwandale was later admitted that Jinja Regional Referral Hospital in a critical condition, and asked also the police to expeditiously also take up, that is the matter, and file also a report about the attacks on the residents, who are now in panic. And this is something also at the end of the day that could scare so many people. And Jinja Resident District also Commissioner Dr. Richard Gulume also said the 3rd machete victim, who operates also a butcher, was asked also attacked and asked also at that Mutai Trading Center, and rushed to Mulago Hospital after sustaining deep cuts on the head. And Gulume, who is also doubles as the district security chairperson, however, called for calm, as saying the thugs are also being hunted, while the victim was yet to be identified by press time in there. And these are things also we want to say we need to be avoided, because if you are not going to also take keen interest of your life, we may see people also such unscrupulous persons taking advantage of your life, and then that wouldn't also be quite well for you. And this is something where I want to also ask people, more so those who are living within the areas, also to avoid movements at night, because that wouldn't also be quite well. And moving on from that, let's now see what is happening with the climate, because recently we have been talking about rising water levels, where the warnings have been also issued out, where we were told we are going to be witnessing more rains than the usual. And that's already where we did see meteorologists also questioning us and asking us to be prepared also for the coming days, where we may see rains more than also the usual. And now we are seeing also 5,000 people displaced as Lake Victoria water levels also rise again. That's the Massacre city in there. And these are things also we also want to say must be also talked about, because the repercussions of also the Lake Victoria may not be felt, that is by people maybe in central Uganda alone, but of course this cuts across, where we may see people of Arua City also still being affected by the same, where at least 5,000 residents have been displaced, that is in Massacre district, after floods wreaked havoc on the shoreline of Lake Victoria and surrounding areas. And remember, those who live along the shores of River Nile, they could be going through the same. And this is where we want to ask them now to be prepared, and also be maybe in the lead also in terms of preparing themselves for the coming days. And the floods have since submerged homes of residents also of Namirembe, Lambu and Kaziru landing sites, among others, that is in Namukaka and also the Bokakata sub-counties in there. And these are things also we want to say people must be prepared for, because those who are living along the shores of River Nile, because the water that comes in from River Nile is also being told, being said that it is actually the water that is coming from Lake Victoria. And this is something also the Albert Nile, and these are things also and people who live along the Albert Nile also must be prepared. And this is where also we may see also the havoc being also raised upon them. And this is where I want to ask them now, more so the fishing community, that is in areas of Bulisa, areas of also in the Pakwach, we must be prepared and really so that also nobody is also taken by surprise. And because of that, I want to ask maybe those who are living along the shores for now to relocate, because the only way to also avoid this death that could also be as a result of the rising water levels could be just simply by relocating, move to areas which are safer, more so areas of high altitude. That would also be quite well for them to also avoid these challenges. And Mr. John Bosco Lubiai, Deputy Resident District Commissioner, that's for Masaka District, said they have several homes and shops that have already been submerged in the last 3 days. And also already this is something we are seeing, and the floods have cut off all routes that's connecting to various also already landing sites in Bukakata, Chesiga, and also the Bukakata, paralyzing transportation, that is of goods and services from one place to another in there. And I also want to say people of that area also must now find alternative means. And he said the residents currently pay between 1,000 to 2,000 shillings for a single trip, that is to connect, that is to neighboring villages on a boat. And this is after they move and the roads have been paralyzed and the ferries also cannot be able to move in there. Now the alternative is for them to use the canoes and also maybe the boats. And Ms. Sylvia Nachintu, who operates also really a restaurant that's at Namirembe landing site, urged the government to find a lasting solution to the issue about floods. Also, this is where also people need to take the keen up interest in terms of really wanting to solely avoid the devastating repercussions of the climate change that we are talking about today. Because once this is not addressed, then definitely we are going to be seeing so many of these issues continue also to go on there. As the Masaka District Chairperson, Mr. Andrew Chamzi, attributed the rising water level that is also the rising water levels, where we are seeing so many areas also receiving heavy rains in there. And he said the district authorities cannot assist also the residents to relocate due to the financial constraints. And this is also where we expect now the whole Ministry of Disaster and Preparedness to come to the action. And also we want to see them also maybe if they cannot also build, let them give out tents, and that also to help these people shift from where they are and also to areas which to me would be very much safe in there. And he said the district authorities cannot assist the residents, and this is something also I want to now ask the people also to be very much calm and let them ask their leaders of what exactly needs to be done to them. And this is where we also want to see the area, maybe members of parliament also raising the issue in the floor of parliament, so that also the Ministry of Disaster and Preparedness can come to action and help these people who are now suffering. And really looking at how the excess coupled with the issues of census, the enumerators must be going through hell, and some enumerators are currently conducting the national census say they have failed to locate the affected residents because many have not yet also settled in one place. And this is where also you may find the exercise failing. And also in the same way, I want to say people also must be now much worried about that, and definitely that also they could be able to tell us maybe how the excess would be affected in there. Let's move away from that. Let's see now what is happening elsewhere. Still on the monitor paper, Luboa Hospital construction agreements did not violate the law. This is according to information we are receiving from court, and this is also another story that we are seeing on the paper this morning. And I want to take this opportunity now also to now ask your opinion on what you think about this matter that has been long overdue. At most times we have seen MPs more so and also different committees also trying to move, that is to the Luboa Hospital, where the hospital that is supposed to be also one of the hospitals that is supposed to be a specialized hospital, that's of Uganda, at Luboa. We are not also already a violation of any laws, but this construction works. Remember earlier when we talked about the bridge, what about the Luboa Hospital, which is already taking long overdue? And the Constitutional Court has ruled that the agreements also made of the construction and management of the International Specialized Hospital of Uganda at Luboa were not also in violation of any laws. And this is after some people had also been asking for maybe concerns maybe on what also really laws were violated in there. The panel of 5 justices held also already that the action taken by ministers, also and permanent secretaries, that's of Ministry of Health and Ministry of Finance, in entering also already into contracts that's in question, did not also contravene the provisions that is of Article 38 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as amended. And this is also after where some people had been also echoing out their concern about the same issue here, and this is now clear. And this is also something this opportunity now to also ask the people now clear understanding of what the panel judges include, that is Irene Ponta, Catherine Bamgei and Monica Mugenyi, Oscar John Kihika, and Fred Egonda intended in there. These are the justices also already who did sit in there, and on whether the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development had committed an offense by entering into 3 also arrangements, agreements. They involved financing arrangements, that's including also really promissory notes without seeking or obtaining also a resolution of Parliament. The court ruled that also the terms of loan did not necessarily require also approval from Parliament. before executing the instrument under which the law is obtained in there. And this is something also we did see yesterday. Justice Muliagonda, who led the judgment, clarified that the terms of the loan must also be laid before Parliament and approved before the loan can be also enforced. And this is something also we did see yesterday also emerging in there. And the court decision also followed the petition that is in which the civil society body initiative of social economic rights also challenged certain actions also of the government of Uganda through the ministries of health and finance also together with Parliament, that they were inconsistent with certain provisions of the constitution. And this is something also we did see now this is also getting response to. And the petition mentioned the Parliament had sanctioned the issuance of promissory notes worth also heavy amounts in there without following the procedures laid in the constitution, and they amounted also to contravention, and that amounted also to contravention of the constitution of the Republic of Uganda. And the petition also alleged that acts of government of entering into 3 agreements without consultation of the people of Uganda contravened also Article 38 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda in there. But we want to also ask your opinion on the same matter now, on what you think as we get to climax with the show, because we already, some few minutes, we are left with about an hour, and after that also we shall be having, that is the news bulletin in Lubarati, that is Mukulia Lawrence, who is already in the kitchen also to let you know of what is happening and the agreements embodied terms, and also that the government would issue promissory notes also to the Finasi, stroke Roko PSBV Limited without obtaining the approval. That is also Parliament, which contravened Article also 159 subsection 2, that is of also subsection 5 plus also 6. That Justice Muliagonja held that the provisions of Article 159 subsection 2, subsection 5 and subsection 6 of the Constitution we are also already satisfied by the section 3 and 36 of also the PFM, satisfied also through Committee of National Economy, and the requisite also the resolution was passed. Parliament. Now let's leave that story in there. Let's see what is happening in security as ADF boss confesses to killing 2 tourists, and also the driver in there is already another story that we are seeing on the past morning, as a man suspected to be the commander of the rebel group that is Allied Democratic Forces has confessed to killing tourists, and 2 tourists also, and the driver and their guide on October, that's already 2023, and the accused also Mr. Abdul Rashid Choto alias Njovu also Tembo has been committed to the High Court for trial also already at the next also convening session after investigations into the accusations against him were completed. Also this is something also we also want justice, because if really if at all he did it, then definitely he must have done that's a quite disservice to the nation, because really that action of also killing also the tourists painted a negative image more so to the tourism sector of this country. And this is where I also want to say people also need to take a keen interest in. And Choto on Monday approved also appeared before Nakawa Chief Magistrate Court, presided over also by Chief Magistrate Court, also provided over by Mr. Elias Kakoza, on charges of also calling the David James Balu, his wife also Saia, also Cecilia India, and the tour guide, that is Eric Alia, also on October 17th of 2023 in there. And this is something also that didn't go on well. And I also want to say after the state also after Choto's arrest, he received medical attention for his injury. During his interview with investigators, he also disclosed his involvement with the ADF terrorists also in there. And this is something I must say is quite unfortunate, because if at all that had really happened, and then definitely that is also something that we couldn't also take lightly, because as tourists come in our country, remember tourism is actually one of Uganda's highest foreign generating income, because so many people come in as tourists and they pay heavy amounts of money to the government of Uganda. And this is where we also must ensure that they are protected, because once they're not protected, and then definitely we are going to be seeing so many people losing their lives. And how do we ensure that these people who are coming as tourists are very safe in this country? This is also something where we need to take keen interest in, and where we must interest ourselves, because at the end of the day, if tourists are living dissatisfied, then definitely they may not be able to come back. And once they do not come back, we are losing a lot of money, which would also mean very much to the nation. And the state contends also that the same day in the afternoon, the couple was sent for game drive. That is also in a Toyota Land Cruiser, a tourist also vehicle driven by that's Alia, a tour guide driver of Gorillas and Wildlife Tour Safaris Limited. However, the 3 later the evening fell in an ambush where they got killed in there. And this is something also that happened where so many people also did not really feel very much happy about it. And among the documents and physical exhibits, the prosecution prosecution intends also to rely on include that post-mortem reports, photographs, bullet heads and cartridges, and crime scene investigation reports, plus case maps and charge and caution statements, also called data, also printouts and DNA reports and other forensic reports that are now being used. That's all in terms of sort of carrying out the investigations in there. But really, we must ensure as people of this nation that tourists who come in our nation are really very, very much protected. And I don't know if tourists will be nominated, because this is something we not hear people talking about, because we are seeing tourists coming to our nation. But really, are they going to be nominated? But I hope not, definitely not. We are not going to nominate them. I hope so. But as we get to move on with the show. Census established also the stolen data from enumerators is also another story that we are seeing on the past morning. The police are investigating the theft that is of 7 census tablets from enumerators during a press briefing in Kampala on Monday. A police spokesperson, that is also Ms. Fred Enanga, stated that also in most cases the suspects allegedly broke into the homes of the victims and also walked away with the also what we call the census gadgets in there. And according to police, one census tablet also was stolen in Kivu Zone, Wakiso district, where Ms. Octavia Ahumuza reported the theft after her house was broken into. But really, this is something also we want to ensure that people are protected, because these tablets may also be taken advantage of, because these are things also we talked about earlier on before we even commencing with this exercise. We asked about the safety of this enumerator, these census also tablets, but now we are reporting cases also of them being stolen. Now the third incumbent incident occurred, that's in Kawanda Paris in Wakiso district, where Miss also Sarah Namali reported that thugs broke into her home. That's on May 9th at 11 p.m. and stole the census tablet, enumeration sheets and ID plus mobile phone also as they walked away with those gadgets in there. The fourth case was reported that's in Luero district also, that was also where enumerator Mavis Mamuzingo claims that his room was broken into and the census tablet was stolen, but was later discovered in there. On May 10th, Beatrice Tumusime and enumerator that's from Nakaseke district also reported that thugs broke into her home at 4 p.m. and also stole the tablet in there. And in Liantone district, the same case was reported as Jivas also Yesigo left the census tablets charging at the trading center on May 8th, when suspects also allegedly broke into the room and stole it. And these are things already where we did see. And finally, on May 11th in Buyanda Zone, Wakiso district, and that is identified as Stephen Bogere, claimed that also he was also approaching his home. He was attacked as he was on his way home, and his personal belongings, and including the tablet, were taken by thieves in there. And the National Population Census Exercise, which started on May 10th, with the census night also will be commencing. That is, and where it commenced will be going on until the 19th of May, and this is for a period of about 10 days. And this is the first time we are seeing also this census exercise going on digitally, which is only coming with its own negative challenges. But amidst all, we also must take up the challenges as positives, and we also have to work towards that, because at the end of the day, going digital is the way to go, because paperwork is really becoming a challenge. And the advantage of the digital, as earlier yesterday alluded by the Resident City Commissioner Charles Hichagor, is that we are going to be ensuring that paper which would also come from our trees are protected now. And that is where, if at all, we are going to be using digital. The advantage is that we are protecting the environment. And really, I want to side with him. And besides that, we also really seeing that the information that will be gotten that is quite faster through also the digital means in there. According to UBOS, the digital system will enable them to produce accurate and timely demographics and economic also reference in there. And this is something also we also want to also talk about, because if we really leave that out, then definitely that would also be quite unfair. And as we get to move on with the show, MP Mujiche injured in church land fight is only another story that we are seeing on the papers this morning, as he blames police. And this is something really I want to talk about, as Buweju, member of parliament, that's France Mujiche, has accused that security operatives in his constituency, that is of Lac City, after he was attacked and injured in a land dispute involving a church. In the MP Mujiche was on Sunday attacked, that's by a stick wielding assailants, shortly after he was attending a mass at Nyamba Catholic Church, that is also in Nyakishana sub-county in Wedgetown West constituency, Bujueji district, West constituency. Also the MP and several other members of congregation also were hospitalized with serious injuries following the attack. And photos of the MP bleeding from from head were widely also shared on different social media platforms on Sunday, and also the Sunday evening in there, where netizen also expressed concern about the legislator in there. And Mr. Mujiche told journalists on managed that he was attacked at about also by about 16 also suspected goons hired by also Kampala by one of the residents involved also in a land wrangles with Rwanyamba Catholic Church, and this is where he also called upon now security also to respond to. And according to also him, his assailants had reportedly come that is in the area for days, planning to also execute their mission in there. But really, what exactly is happening? And this is where once we start attacking maybe such honorable colleagues, it becomes very, very much dangerous. We start fearing for our lives, because really, if an MP can be attacked, then what about you as an ordinary citizen? And this is where we also want to say land wrangles must be addressed. And the only way we can address the land wrangles is first of all formalizing registration of our land. Also really, that will be quite well. First of all, also getting land titles will be a very good one, so that also really we avoid these challenges, so that everybody identifies where the land also really borders are stretching. And the district chairperson, Mr. Dewa Watuhere, said security must explain how also the suspect at Atene stayed in the area for days without also being detected in there. But really, who is supposed to detect them? This is where the community also really failed, because if community also does not identify what exactly is happening, then definitely that would also be quite unfortunate. And this is where I also want to take this opportunity and now to ask each and everybody to always ensure that also really once you identify people who are not also worth in the area, we also identify them, so that also really we report to police, so that also police can also really take advantage of also really arresting these people, so that also they do not also really execute their missions, which are in most cases very much bad, so that also these issues maybe of harming, killings can be avoided. And this is where I want to implore now each and every member of the community to always ensure that they are vigilant. Secondly, first of all, they are very cautious of what is happening, then that would also be very, very much good for them. And this is where also really I want to take this opportunity now to ask more so these responsible and respect members of the community, for instance the MPs, to always also really be aware of such people in the communities, and let them also ensure that they work maybe through broad daylight, and they must also ensure that they move in convoys. That would also be quite well, and that would also at the end of the day, in my own opinion, help avoid such also calamities from happening. And as we get to move on with the show, I also want to say, if at all such people can be arrested and brought to book, that would be quite well and good. And on a side note, in Wakiso, we also already been seeing a story that where prison also inmates are ferried on motorcycle, which is already another story that we are seeing on the past morning, as Kasanje Prison, Wakiso district uses motorcycles and also recycle vehicles to transport inmates due to lack of funds to buy prison buses. And this publication also really has learned about that. And also really Uganda Prison Service, a spokesperson also really Frank Mayanja Baine also really said also the budget is relatively small and cannot allow them also to buy vehicles for the heavy facility, which is also really transporting prisoners in there. But really, what is happening and how safe are these on the motorcycles? Can't we really see at one time these inmates who are very stubborn escaping from also the prison warders? And this is where it is very, very much risky, because unlike with the motorcycle, unlike with the vehicles, which also really are very much guarded, for instance, with the iron bars, these motorcycles may not have all those opportunities to protect maybe these thieves and maybe these criminals who are in detention. And really, this would be quite bad, where we may see these people escaping out of the hands also from these prison orders, which wouldn't also be quite well for us to witness in the Uganda Prison Service. Spokesman Brian also said the budget is small, which cannot allow them also really to buy those vehicles. And really, if maybe the prison service cannot buy these vehicles, what about the local governments? Really, if local governments could also support these prisons, also that would be quite well, because I want to see at one time people working together. That would also be quite well. And Mr. Baine said they are also struggling with underfunding, understaffing, that is in the prison also facilities across the country. He said they have already 7,000 inmates with only a very few also supporting staff, which is 14,000 in there, which cannot also really match that is the 77,000 in there. This means that each prison warder is in charge of also 7 inmates there. But really, how substantial is that number? Definitely you as a viewer can also share your views with us. And the situation at Kasanje Prison was revealed on Sunday at Makerere University during the launch of the 2023 Human Rights also situation report, that is at the district in there. But really, how best can we ensure that these prison also services are supported is the question also really at the end of the day, which would also be quite well, because we need to also understand what exactly is happening. And according to report also really, Wakiso district has 5 prisons, including that is also really Chitalia, and these are the prisons also which are in Wakiso. There's Chitalia, Minmax, we also have Sentema, we have Chitalia Farms and Kasanje Farm, come, and not forgetting also Chitalia, also prisons in there. These are also prisons that we also have to talk about, because if you look at Chitalia, this is where so many people also say they prayed not to be taken, because once you're taken there, usually when they come out with so many stories which are never good. And last year, these centers had that is 48,380 prisoners, including that's also the convicts on remand and also debtors who were also taken in there. And that also does bring us to the end of that discussion as we get to the climax of the first hour, because our first hour is getting done. We're just with a minute, that is to 8 o'clock. And after 8 o'clock, we still have so many stories prepared for you here. And that is where we shall be able to continue slightly with the discussion that is about also the Wakiso prison and with other topics later on. But for now, allow us to stop here. And remember, 8 o'clock, once we get into 8 o'clock, which is our final hour, we shall be stretching up to 9 o'clock. And after 9 o'clock, that is when the news bulletin in Lubarati will be coming through. That's with Mukulia Lawrence, and other programs of the day later on will be coming. But for now, let's first have this short commercial breather as we bounce back shortly.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
For Miss Uganda 2024 is on. Get ready to be wowed by the girls' intelligence, charisma, and big dreams. Who will be the next Miss Uganda? Find out starting 10th May every Friday to Sunday at 8 p.m. on Makulachika, exclusively on Star Times. For more details on how to join the competition, visit www.missuganda.co.ug or visit Star Times branches. The show is sponsored by VNA, LMZ, Comform, Nanjing Hotel, Kira Motors, Sheraton, Uganda Airlines, and lead sponsors Grace Textiles and U-Home. Miss Uganda 2024, true Ugandan beauty.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
The search for Miss Uganda 2024 is on. Get ready to be wowed by the girls' intelligence, charisma, and big dreams. Who will be the next Miss Uganda? Find out starting 10th May every Friday to Sunday at 8 p.m. on Makulachika, exclusively on Star Times. For more details on how to join the competition, visit www.missuganda.co.ug or visit Star Times branches. The show is sponsored by VNA, LMZ, Comform, Nanjing Hotel, Kira Motors, Sheraton, Uganda Airlines, and lead sponsors, Grace Textiles and U-Home. Miss Uganda 2024, true Ugandan beauty.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Right, a very warm welcome from that is our first hour. We're already 6 minutes into our second hour. You're most welcome. This is Kokoliriko live also on Western Television channel 477. That is on Star Times and also really across all our social media platforms. We are live on Western Television. That is also really on Facebook. We are live also on Western Television YouTube, and that is also really where you can access us each and every mornings. That is also really across any part of the world, any time of your convenience in there. So long as you have a connection that is to the internet, you will be able to get us loudly and clearly in there without any interruptions. And now, as we get to move on with the show, where I also want to remember you, remember in the first hour we talked about so many issues. Now, as we get to in the second hour, remember before we did go for the break, we were talking about the MP who has been also attacked by people there over land in there. We talked very much about that, and now let's get to move on with the other stories, because if we also continue with the show, I will be able to maybe take this opportunity to remind you of so many other issues that also we must also keep you aware of. As also we talked about the story in Wakiso, where inmates are now being ferried on motorcycle, which is really quite unfortunate. And now to begin off our second hour with, let's now see what is happening at the national scene with the head of state also who tasked also UK to produce evidence that's in speak amongst also the wealth claims, and it's already something we are seeing on the part this morning right now. And I want to take this opportunity now to say that President Museveni has directed the Foreign Affairs Minister, that is Jeje Dongo, to write a demand to the UK to explain also the source, that information that Speaker Anita Among also has a house in the UK in there. And this is something also we did see the President also tasking, that is Foreign Affairs Minister General Jeje Dongo in there. The President also said he had received, that is the Inspector of Government's message, that Ms. Among did not also reveal anything related to ownership of a house or houses in the UK in there. But really that is something as we go to continue with the show. And I also want to ask people now also to share their opinions on what the President is also saying, and also the demand by the President, or that is in far as the issue about ownership of a house in the UK is concerned. Because really, is that a big deal? Because we have Uganda ministers who has also really said to be owning houses in the UK. What about a whole minister? Maybe a whole speaker. Can they really afford to own a house? And that is also really something. And really, if at all, maybe they own houses. Is it really bad? Because we also really want to as people owning any property in any part of the world. And that is something also already where the president also did ask, that is the Foreign Affairs Minister, General Dongo, in there to also talk about the matter. And he said Ms. Among had told him that she does not also own a house or house in the UK, as alleged also by the UK government there. The Speaker amongst allegations on UK wealth was also revealed, that is by President 70 by the British High Commissioner, that is Ms. Keith Aire Obe, at also State House Nakasero on April 30th of this year, just hours before the UK government announced sanctions against 3 Ugandan legislators. And this is something also that we did see happening. And Ms. Aire was meeting the president to brief him about the impeding sanctions also against legislators there. And where Ms. Aire was already meeting the president also to brief about the impeding sanctions. And this is something also I want to say happened in there. But really, as we get to follow about this matter and the issues about the Karamoja also still is continuing. And this is where also really something that we actually led also against also the impeding against also these legislators in there. And the president said if Ms. Among indeed has house in the UK, then the next issue would be also to ascertain where she got the money to build them from. And this is something also where we are yet following up on the matter. On May 2nd, the president also directed the IG and Ethics Ministry to look into the speaker's UK wealth and the issue also to ascertain whether it is true that she has a house that is in the UK also, that is just mere allegations. And the UK government slapped UK also Speaker Among also and 2 other former ministers, that is Mary Goretti Kitutu and also Agnes Nanutu, with travel ban and also the asset freezes in what it is called also the epitome of corruption, and that also really has no place in society. And this is something also we did see happening in there. While Kitutu also and Nanutu are facing prosecution, Ms. Among swiftly returned, that is also 5,000 pieces of iron sheets she had received. That's already when the revelations also came out in there. And the iron sheets also we are from, that is government of Uganda, meant for the vulnerable communities of also Karamoja sub-region in there. The speaker was found to have also benefited from the proceeds of the theft, according to the statement released by the land and also government in there. And that is something also we did see happening in there. And I really want to say, if at all the investigation, the matter continue, and then we want to have comprehensive and detailed analysis on the matter, so that sorry nobody is left behind there as far as that issue is concerned. But really, as we get to follow up on the matter, and then definitely that would also be quite well, because we want to see each and everybody also at one point also really be addressed into that matter in there. But that would also maybe help paint us an image of what exactly is happening in there. But really, at the end of the day, we want to see also that matter be addressed, so that also really nobody is left behind in there. But as we get to move on with the show, I want to also remind you that also on a sad note, we are still seeing the wildlife-human conflicts continuing, as an elephant yesterday killed one and leaves another critical injured also in Abim district. And this is also another story that we received yesterday, and we are yet following up on that story. And tragedy struck that last night in Abim district when an elephant attacked and trampled also in 2 videos, leaving one dead and the other critically injured there. The incident occurred, that is at around 10 p.m. on May 2nd, as Dennis Ongok, 23 years old, and Geoffrey Okello. We are riding on a motorcycle, that's from Abim Town Council, that's to Alerek Town Council. Ongok succumbed, that is also to head injuries, while Okello remains also in the critical condition, that's at Abim Hospital in there. And this attack is the latest also in several also of wildlife and elephant related also conflicts, where residents are now expressing frustration and fear. That is also really as a result of these animals also doing also havoc in there. And really, this is something I want to say must be addressed, because the human-wildlife conflicts mean a lot, and this is where people may also put the lives of this human, maybe this wildlife at danger, because once this wildlife get to move freely and start also doing havoc like that, and then definitely the people may also take poaching as a solution. That is also to end also the species of this, and that is why we want to say these animals must be kept in one place, and which must also be guarded, and must also ensure these animals don't move out of the areas, maybe out of the zones where they are residing, so that already these conflicts can be protected. And this attack is the latest, that is in a series of wildlife related also incidents that's in Abim, with the residents also now expressing their fear. In January 2024, we did see a Munyo Langol narrowly escaping death after also really being attacked by a buffalo, which left him also with severe injuries in there. But really, how can we ensure that these human-wildlife conflicts are avoided? And this is something also really where residents are now urging the government to intervene, as the attacks also have not only only resulted in human casualties, but have also really caused that is significant also really damage to crops, and also really making it impossible for the residents also really to see to that also really they also plant guard also their crops more so during this rainy season. But really, how can we ensure these wildlife human conflicts are avoided is really the way to go. But and then the question also we need to also really ask your opinion on, because people plant these crops, and once we see the crops being destroyed also by the wildlife, maybe it becomes very much dangerous for them. It becomes very difficult for people to continue to engage in food production, which at the end of the day may come with its own negative repercussions. But the appeal also to me will be that the responsible body, that's Uganda Wildlife Authority, must ensure these wildlife animals are kept in one place, and this also so that also they did not move maybe to harm also the people in other areas. For instance, the game parks, what we did see in the that is also Queen Elizabeth National Park, where the animals have to be protected in one place. To me, that would also be quite well, so that also the community can live with the animals, because these animals have their own advantage. They come with their own also benefits. For instance, tourist attractions, which also really comes with a lot of monies, and that is the government of Uganda. But really to ensure that this was of livelihoods, more so those who live in also the areas which are neighboring these facilities can be protected is well and good. And the community is now demanding action. That's from Uganda Wildlife Authority, which is the body mandated to also really overlook at the well-being of these animals and human beings to prevent further tragedies is also concerned in there. But really, as we also get to move on with the show, and that is also something I want to take this honor to also really ask also really our view on. And let's move on with the show. And now looking still at the head of state, as we get to also really talk about him. At the State House has this on also service award prop letter is also another story that we are seeing on the past morning, as we also really get to move on with the show. The president has stamped also a forged letter also really bearing the official signature of the president, ordering also a probe into the matter also controversial service award, where the president also where the parliamentary commission extended to the former leader of opposition that's in parliament at the three bench back, that is the also backbench commissioners, and this is also after awarding themselves that is the billions in there, where the commissioner also others took 300 million, with also the leader of opposition in parliament, the former also Matthias Mpuga, taking 500 million to his name in there, which did not also really go well with some also of his party members, more so the party principal, where they had to fall apart, where the party principal demanded for an exit. That is from the commissioner in there. But yet we are yet following up on this money. What exactly happened? What led to these issues about the people also getting money for themselves is where we also want to seek your opinion, and that's the viewer that would also help understand maybe if at all these people took the money. And yesterday we did see recently stories circulating where the president also, His Excellency Yoweri Museveni, also had a letter circulating that he would be able to probe the matter. But then yesterday we did see also the president responding that that letter is forged and he did not do such a thing, and now he's calling upon investigation to the matter. But really, how can somebody forge such a letter with the signature of the head of state? That is really quite unfortunate. If at all people continue to do such things, then definitely it is quite unfortunate, because if these false letters continue to circulate, and then maybe across all the media platforms, then that definitely becomes very much difficult. And the May 3rd letter address, that's the Attorney General, Mr. Chiriwa Chuanuka, also sought advice that's on the legality of the so-called service award, also money in which a leader of opposition parliament, former, that is Matthias Mpuga, was given, that is shillings 500 million as gratuity in March 22nd, which did not also really go well with some of the legislators in there. But the president also press unit on Monday also said it was a forged letter, which was also really something which we did say is very much bad. And State House now disowned on the widely publicized letter. Also comes as a surprise also to many, also considering that the section of president staff also had earlier confirmed the same with the various media outlets in there. But really, how can we ensure that also the information that comes out maybe on the media is credible, so that also we do not also get answers, maybe doubts in some of the matters? Because if such letters continue to maybe circulate on the media, then definitely how do we ensure that the information that leaks on social media, for instance, is credible? And this is where also really how best we can separate that is credible information, that is from false information, becomes very much serious, where also the credibility, first of all the authenticity of such letters must be ensured before also we start disseminating them, because sometimes we receive such information and we just start disseminating them without necessarily verifying the authenticity, and that is where it becomes very much difficult. But now where we see the head of state and really his signature being forged, it becomes quite quite funny. It becomes quite difficult because really at the end of the day we do not expect that also to happen, and that is a crime where one can be charged also in the courts of law. If at all you are apprehended as a person who actually forged this letter and circulated it, and you can be arrested for that, and that is where it becomes criminal for you to also ensure that you avoid issues of such caliber, and instead also it leaves a nation in cloud of confusion and the authenticity of also the various presidents' letters. Also, this is where we are going to be doubting them. Besides the Dignity Secretary headed paper, that also did not contain any official symbols of the letter in there, and that is where we want to say people also must ensure that also they do not force letters of the president, because if at all people are going to forge letters, and then definitely that would also be quite bad for us to continue to witness, because we want to see each and everybody also having also receiving that is what we call the credible information, so that already we do not also have also the information where people also take advantage of them like that, and that is already where also I want to take this opportunity and now to also call upon each and everybody to ensure that the information they are going to be circulating on media is actually the one that is a credible one. And as we get to move on the show, as remember today we are already that is on the 15th, which is already the 14th. Sorry, that means that also we are already some few days into what we call the National Census Exercise days, and that is where also we are seeing on the first day failing, and now UBOS has come out to take the responsibility for the census glitches, and this is something that we are receiving on the past morning as the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, the body mandated also to uptake also the census exercise, has come out also clearly take up also and admit also they have the glitches in the census exercise for which they take the responsibility, and this is also something that we are seeing, and the glitches range from faulty gadgets, a delayed allowance, also poor training of the UBOS enumerators, and lack of access also to UBOS system, and delayed deployment of enumerators. And this is a thing also where we did see UBOS also taking that up also the mandate on, and Mr. Albert also Biamugisha, the UBOS board chairman, while addressing the media yesterday, said that is at the weekly press briefing that's in Kampala, also already said they are working to ensure that they come up also with also solutions to the challenges so as to smoothen also the exercise in there. And this is something also at the end of the day we are yet following up on. We want to see the exercise moving on as planned, because we want to see each and everybody's information be captured in the census exercise in there, so that also nobody is left behind in terms of planning, and so that also the government of Uganda can also best also it's also resource allocation not on rumors, also maybe on gestures, but rather on the information that is on ground, so that also nobody is left behind. And I really want to say that is still quite a reality. It is still something that can be done within maybe the 3 days, but really where we hardly see nominators, it becomes very much unrealistic for us to say that we are going to be seeing this exercise be done within the stipulated period of time, because if you really witness what is happening within the homesteads, it is rare for you to see the enumerators moving. But maybe in the remaining days we may see them. But today in Arua City we are going to be seeing the top bosses and most of the leaders being enumerated, and we want to see each and all of them lead by example. And yesterday we did see the resident city commissioner for Arua City, Charles Echogor, who actually confirmed to us that he has already been enumerated, and the city mayor also as well, I believe, also has been enumerated. And we want to see each and everybody be enumerated, because we want to see all the leaders spearhead this, and at the end of the day that would also be quite well for us, because as citizens we want to see each and everybody embrace the exercise. Because if at all we are not embracing the exercise, what about the subordinates, maybe the people whom we are leading, how will they be able to respond? And this is where we may see people also, maybe people within the society, be removing pangas, which will also be quite well, because unlike with the injuries, the spray exercise in the rural areas, we did see people receiving also the pangas, others also being on the run after also the locals removed for them arrows and spears in there. We do not expect the same incidents also to be witnessed with this necessary exercise, where we are expecting this exercise to move smoothly, where we want to see each and everybody also be accommodated in there. That would be quite well. At the end of the day, we want to see the exercise move on as planned. And the 2024 National Population and Housing Census exercise, according to UBOS, also already runs from May 10th and 19th, also already, during which also the data on social media demographics, also characteristics, also various social factors is being collected also for planning purposes in there. The senior public relations officer, that is at the Bureau, Dr. Didakas Okoth, blamed the local government also for the delay in reuniting training also allowances, that is to also the enumerators in there, because this is also the charge that came in from the local governments. And the status also indicates that the 4 days into the census exercise, which today is the 5th day, UBOS say they have covered that 30% of the households. And as they get to move on with the show, and as they get to move on with the exercise, exercise. I ruled out that the possibility of extending the census period, which also except for Kampala, Wakiso, and Mukono, where the boundaries are quite huge. And this is something also where we may see extension for. But I really want to say in Arua City also we want to see the areas also being extended, because we are hardly seeing also what we call the enumerators. I don't know, as the viewer, how many have come to your home, how many of you have seen passing within your homesteads. That could also help paint an image for us. And the background of the whole matter is that the government declared May 10th as a public holiday. That is also to allow members of the public also to be at their homes, which was really a total mess, where we did see enumerators storming different facilities, also venues, demanding also really for help in there. And May 10th was actually a day where we did see not so many work being done, except a very few enumerators who actually worked that very day, but many did not actually work that day. And I really want to say we are yet following up on that matter, and more than 120,000 staffs of UBOS are now moving from door to door, also could capture information about also the country in there. According to UBOS, the digital system will enable them to produce accurate and timely data for the also planning of the government of Uganda, and that is also something that we are yet following up on, and we want to see each and everybody be involved in that, and that would also help us understand why we must also ensure that these were protected. And now information also leaking indicates that also 3 enumerators also die on duty, and we earlier on we talked about one, but now we are receiving more also the deaths also being registered in there. At least 3 enumerators conducting also the ongoing national population and housing census exercise, which commenced last Friday, have tragically died while on duty. And this information that we are receiving also, and according to officials from Uganda Bureau of Statistics, one of these enumerators was attacked last weekend also at Najera Kiramu Municipality, Wakiso District, by a and died upon arrival at the hospital. And Mr. Joshua Mubulire, the communication officer that at UBOS, told us journalists in an interview that yesterday also we did see Andrew Sali, who was assaulted on Saturday by unknown assailants, also assailants succumbed to injuries upon reaching hospital, and also not forgetting the lady that we earlier on spoke about. And these are things solely we want to say people also must also be protected in there. And we are seeing Annette Tibiwa, who collapsed and died instantly there. And these are things also we want to say people also must ensure that their well-being is first of all well catered, and so that also we do not see more enumerators dying. And for those who are going to be going for this exercise, we want to ensure that before you move to the field, your life is well mattered, and your health must not be maybe one that is deteriorated, so that also if you are sick, then definitely you need not to go for that, because really you may go to the field as you're sick, that would also lead you to collapsing and dying instantly there, which would also be very bad, and you may also not be able to maybe eat the money which you want to go and work for. It is better also to first get treatment, and maybe so that also you move to the facility, or maybe in the few days, so that also you can get the information where necessary. If we can not get the information, maybe somebody can help in doing that. And according to UBOS, the enumerators from Kiruhura also started feeling weak, as he was also already executing his duties at the weekend, and died instantly after reaching a health facility in there. And the caution as was extended to all enumerators to remain vigilant about also their security while in the field, and that's already about their health, as well as assailants are targeting them due to the possession of that gadget, and also tablets also and these are also where targeting the power banks, where targeting the gadgets. And really this is where I want to say is quite unfortunate, and really that would quite be very much bad. And for now, let's first take a short commercial breather as we get to move on with the show. This is the Kokoliriko live on West Nile Television, and stay tuned to West Nile TV. Stay tuned.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
for Miss Uganda 2024 is on. Get ready to be wowed by the girls' intelligence, charisma, and big dreams. Who will be the next Miss Uganda? Find out starting 10th May every Friday to Sunday at 8 p.m. on Makulachika, exclusively on Star Times. For more details on how to join the competition, visit www.missuganda.co.ug or visit Star Times branches. The show is sponsored by VNA, LMZ, Comform, Nanjing Hotel, Kira Motors, Sheraton, Uganda Airlines, and lead sponsors Grass Textiles and U-Home. Miss Uganda 2024, true Ugandan beauty.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Right, welcome from a short commercial break. We are already 30 minutes after 8 o'clock, and our final destination remains, that's 9 o'clock. And after 9 o'clock, that is when Mukulia Lawrence will be coming with the news bulletin. But as we get to continue with the show, looking at some of the stories happening on the past morning, SFC resumes city works after securing funds. It's only another story that we are seeing happening right here, and maybe in Ginger. And this is also where the Special Forces Command, also the construction regiment, that's already where also the UPDF also is very much talked about, and we are now seeing has resumed maintaining, that is the Kampala city roads, also the months after they hung also their boots due to also really delay the release of the funds by the Kampala Capital City Authority. And this is where also really want to see how they will be able to go on with their works. And 2 weeks after ago, the KCA provided additional funds, that is also to the SFC RRC prompting them to resume also the repairs and maintenance works in there. And this is where I also want to say we have seen the soldiers are doing quite a tremendous job, and this is where we also want to say the works must be done within the stipulated period of time. We do not want to see the soldiers, because for them, we know them, they're people of time. We do not want to see them also delaying the projects, just like how maybe the other ordinary contractors are doing, because the civilians also really who have been able to delay works. For instance, if you look at what is happening with also really the bridge in Arua district, more so in Arua district, which connects Enyao to Pazulu in there, which is already up to now stalling, where we did see locals yesterday staging protests against. We want to see also these works are done within the stipulated period of time. We do not want to see these leaders, maybe these soldiers also delaying just like the other contractors, which wouldn't also be quite well, where we did see the soldiers also who have been told that they do their works within the stipulated period of time, where we have seen the engineering brigade of UPDF actually doing a tremendous job in developing some of the facilities. For instance, in Entebbe, we have seen them doing a quite good job. More also on the road sector, we have also seen them doing a good job, and that is why if maybe government gives them such contracts, let them ensure that they execute their mission within also the period of time, so also the public can have more trust in them, and maybe over the other contractors. And this should also serve as a warning, and this should also serve as a threat. That is more so to the contractors, more so those who are really also doing what it takes. That is also something I want to say wouldn't also be quite bad. And this is one thing I also want to say. People must ensure that they also talk about, also in terms of also addressing the matter. As 2 weeks ago, KCA provided additional funds that is also to these soldiers, and Lieutenant Chikome Chigongo, the assistant also the project manager, that's for the FCCR, that's to say they are maintaining the old Kampala road before they also get to move on. That's Nachivo Crossing and Chagwe Road, which also must be also well worked upon in there. And in last year, June, President Museveni also ordered the SFC to take over the maintenance of city roads, and President Museveni also said President Museveni also said General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, now who is also Chief of Defense Forces, has approached him to help that's in the construction and maintenance of the city roads at a lower cost. And this is something also where we are yet following up on, and we want to see the final product. And this is the final product is quality work rather than shoddy works. And if UPDF also maybe it's do shoddy works, and then definitely we shall come here and still blast them. But really we are not hoping for that. We are yet also really following up on, and we know that they are going to be doing a tremendous job. But this is by the fact that, given also the experience of also the past experiences where we have seen them doing a tremendous job, and in this one we are also really expecting the same. And in May last year, General Muhoozi towards some of the city roads that were also in a bad shape and promised to use the SFC units, that is to improve them. And the SFCR later secured that is also the shillings 2 billion deal, that's from KC also to fix potholes that's in the roads. And the army engineers also started the works, that's at Chiembe Lane, that's in Kololo area, and Rashid Kamis Road. And but later also the project was expanded to other areas. And Lieutenant Chikome said they are also tested also in 2 categories, section repairs and pothole stealing. And this is also where they will be very much doing their works on. And Lieutenant Chikomeko said the drainage is still a big challenge. That is also to the durability of the city roads, and really if there is any concern, then definitely they need to also address that. And Lieutenant Chikomeko said they expect that to cover also really around 20,000 square meters also really of also potholes, where 10,000 also really square also meters of section repairs and also pavements by also by the end of the project. And this is where they will be able to do their work. And granting also the SFCCR also a contract to maintain the city roads generated that's a lot of also opposition from some politicians who claim that also had not gone through the lawful processes of procurement. And this is only where we did see Kampala Lord Mayor, that is Arias Lukwago, say the KC administration also should also have something that's subject to the repairs and maintenance also projects that's to competitive bidding to allow also the other companies also to participate in there. And this is something also that didn't go all well. And the chairman also board committee KC, Dr. Balem Subuga, who is also the Macau East MP, also said they were contracted to do the work, but they were using that KCA vehicles and equipment. KCA has been also telling us that they can't also repair the roads because of the shortage of also the equipment and funds in there, and that is why they feel that these projects also need to be given, that is to the other contractors, and that would also be quite well. And I really want to say we also are yet following up on that matter, and we want to see also SFC doing a tremendous job. And I really that is also where I feel they would also be doing it at the end of the day. That would also maybe get them have more contracts, because if they do the shoddy works, if they get to do the dilapidated works, we are going to be seeing also so many people also expressing concern about the same. And at the end of the day, we may also see also the whole process a bit challenged in there. But really to avoid challenging also these processes, definitely the way to go is also really that it's quite simple. And this is where also we will say people must ensure first of all that also they are doing what it takes, and that is also where we also want to see also very much engaged on, because if at all people are going to be also really not also be engaged in that, and then definitely we may see so many people also taking advantage of the contracts and the different also committees where we may also see controversies also be raised in there, which also would have doubts in what also we call the procurement, where also the process also where we have also been told that department has been also the one that is where corruption is very much witnessed, because so many people today have no trust in what we call the procurement and contract award also committees in there. They think there's very much absolute corruption in there, but going in there, but we don't know. We are yet following up on that, and we shall be able to keep you updated of any information that could arise in that area. And this is the Kokoliriko live show on Western Television channel 477, and this is on StarTimes and across all the social media platforms. And yesterday we did also remove, that is also in Tarego district, if I can be able to remind you, and this is also really by a team of also officials from CARE. That is also really where we did see officials touring the area, and this is also to ascertain and also check on their progress, where CARE has been investing a lot of money in, and also they wanted to see how their programs are also progressing. And I want also to inform you that also we did see officials right from also officials representing all the from Care Germany, and also we did see a gentleman also by in the names of also really who is the desk officer Care Germany, and he is identified also really as also he is identified as also somebody. If I can be able to maybe remember the name in a few minutes. And we did also see officials also really coming all day from Zimbabwe. We did have officials from DRC, and we did see officials coming from South Sudan, and this is also really in the areas of Omugo, where they did move to Omugo, where Care Uganda had been doing a lot of skilling, where they did train youths also to become as agents of change in training them. We did see women who were trained in tailoring, and today who are already doing a tremendous job in terms of sort of training others, where we did see the skilling centers. We did see women trained in business who are today doing a lot of businesses, and that is also in transforming their lives. We did see women who are trained as agents of change, and really I want to remind that that is also something we did see happening yesterday, and this is under a project that is abbreviated as GFFO project, where Seford is partnering with Care Uganda also to extend also help in there. And this is where they did see this group also really moving in there. And we did see Thomas Rotland. He is also the desk officer for Care Germany, who actually did came in with the team, and today they will also be doing the same, that is to traverse and also to understand why maybe what exactly their projects are doing, so that so they can go back to maybe the funders and also ask for also really more projects to come. And really I want to also remind that people were asking for the extension of the GFFO project because of its benefit that's to the society, and this is also really where we did see people talking about also reproductive health and also the sexual knowledge in there, where people shared a lot of also information concerning gender-based violence. And this is where I want to say we didn't see that happening, but as we move on with the show, so many issues going to happen that is in society, but really to see such initiatives going on, this is a plus. And I really say that at the end of the day, we are feeling the repercussions, and people also really are very, very much absolutely feeling that is really the advantage of that project. And we did see the team also, that is from DRC, Malawi, and also really from Zimbabwe in there, who had come to benchmark. And that's also a company, also the Care Germany desk officer in there. This is something also I want to say at the end of the day, if at all the project is extended as demanded by the communities, also community members would also have a positive impact on the lives of the people who are mostly in the vulnerable communities and vulnerable areas in there. That's in Omugo, which is actually one of the areas hosting a huge number of refugees from South Sudan, where we are seeing also really people also benefiting from that, and not excluding the host communities, where also we did see them also doing a tremendous job. And this is where also we want to say these projects must be implemented in all the areas, and this is also at the end of the day to the benefit of also really with the communities. And now, given the fact that most of the areas are also now facing that is cuts in funding, really this is also really where people are getting a bit worried, and they feel if this funding continues, and then definitely that would also really help transform more lives. Because really, if you see what happened in there, that is really something at the end of the day you would be able to realize why the project needs to be extended. And really, if it is extended, then definitely we may see so many people also transforming their lives in there, and that is something at the end of the day that would also summarize the discussion in there. But as usual, let's summarize the discussions with what is happening in the world of sports. But before we get to give that, allow me to remind that at exactly 9 we shall be having the news bulletin in Lubarati. That's with Mukulia Lawrence. As you can clearly see reflected on your screens, he is already smartly dressed in there to also let you know of what is happening in the world of news. And that is why, as the viewer, you must also be prepared and wait for him, because he will be giving you that information. That information only happens here on West Nile Television, because there's no way you are going to get information that's about West Nile about West Nile region elsewhere, but only on West Nile Television here. But now, if I can briefly remind you of what is happening in the world of sports, and remember, sports is actually one of the sectors employing a number of youth today, and this is also due to its enormous advantage, because sports being as a leisure activity today, we are seeing so many people employed that is in the sports sector as footballers, as also really maybe as sports agents, where they're earning a lot of monies. And that is why today the government of Uganda has taken up the initiative of developing the sports facilities, one with Nambole and the other is Nachivubo, which are all currently being developed. And we want to see in West Nile region maybe Docas Njikuru Stadium being also developed, and we want to see Arua Hill Fox also get finalized, and also Greenlight be developed maybe in a stadium. That would also really help us understand why we need to also have these stadiums. And not only in Arua City, we want to see more stadiums established that is across the region. We want to see stadiums in Nebi, we want to see stadiums in Ajumani, we want to see stadiums in maybe in other parts of the region. In Lango, we want to see Kibwa also be developed, and that would also help us understand maybe also in developing the game. And now let's look at some of the games that will be going on, and that's also right from that is that time Uganda Premier League, because East or West Home is the best, and that is where we also want to start reminding you of some of the games that will be going on. And if I can maybe briefly remind you of the regional also playoffs will also be going on. That's between Araka Football Club, that's from Yumbe, and they will be tackling also really against that is Paida Black Angels, and this will be on the 19th of May, which is actually also this coming weekend, and maybe this a few weekends to come and a few days to come, and this is also where we shall be able to keep you updated. And this is also really over the weekend. I really want to say we will be at Green Light Stadium to keep you informed and updated of what is happening in there. But now let's look at some of the games that will be going on. Sometimes Uganda Premier League today, we shall be having that is also really that is the title contenders, Kitara Football Club, who sits on second place, as they will be taking on Bright Stars, which is also another staples side, as Vipers will be taking on Busoga United, and KCA will be taking on that's Wakiso Giants. Barra City will be playing against Bull, who is on the table, and we shall be having UPDF playing against Maroons in there, as SC Villa will be taking on the tax collectors, that is URS Soccer Club, and that is already where the games will be going on. And if you look at the table standings today, that is the Sometimes Uganda Premier League, we are seeing a Bull Football Club sitting on the log, as Kitara Football Club comes in the second place, as SC Villa comes in the third place, Vipers sits on the fourth place, as NEC Football Club is on the fifth place, Kampala's Capital City Authority KCFC is on the sixth place in there. Looking at the bottom, starting right from what we are seeing down there, or we are seeing also the Arua Hill Football Club sitting at the bottom, as UPDF already also is confirmed on relegation zone there. They sit also in the 15th place, as Gaddafi also is on the 14th place in there, and we are seeing Barara City sitting also on the 12th position, as Wakiso Giants sit on the 13th place. And this is already as far as the issues maybe about also the last teams is concerned. And now looking at also at the English Premier League yesterday, we did have one game that was also already between Aston Villa and Liverpool Football Club. The game ended, that's 3-3, after Liverpool taking the lead in there, but the game had to end in a draw. That's of 3-3. And tonight we shall be having another interesting game that is also in the world of English Premier League. That is between Tottenham Hotspur, and that is also between taking on Manchester City in there, where so many people also would also want to watch this game, given the fact that also they want to see maybe if Arsenal will be winning this trophy. The game will be determined tonight, as Tottenham Hotspur will be taking on Manchester City. I don't know what you think about the game and maybe how the games will be ending, but if I can briefly maybe give you a head-to-head of maybe how the teams performed in the last encounter. And if you really see in Premier League, we did see in the 2021-2022 season, we did see Tottenham Hotspur beating also Manchester City 3-2, where we did also see in the same campaign also Tottenham also beating that is also Manchester City by a goal to nil in the first leg, and that is already something that could be as a good news maybe to those Arsenal fans, maybe to Tottenham Hotspurs who may be also going out to watch the game in there. And if you look at EFL Cup, that's in 2020-2021 season, Manchester City won the game by a goal to nil against Tottenham Hotspur. And in Premier League, that's of 2020-2021 season, we did see Manchester City also beating Tottenham Hotspur by 3-0. That's in the first leg. Meanwhile, in the second leg, we did see also Tottenham Hotspur taking the advantage by beating Manchester City by 2-0 in there. And that means that also there's still possibility of any of the sides taking the win in that tonight. And we shall be able to keep you informed tomorrow of how maybe the games will be ending. And that does bring us to the end of the discussion, and that's not only what we have on sports. And remember, later on, Owen Ezaga together with Linda Susie will be here through the whistle time. That is right from the hour of 2 to 3 p.m. They will be giving the comprehensive and detailed analysis of what is happening in the world of sports. And up next is the news bulletin Liberty. That is Mukulia Lawrence. Stay tuned as we stop and summarize with today's discussions here. Have yourselves a great day, and from me to you is a goodbye.